Hey guys, my spinner and I give you a very warm welcome to a new week. This is module 4. Just like that, we have officially completed our first month. What a crazy thought, huh? It's already officially a month. Just like that, huh? Hope you guys are doing good this month so far with your other classes, and that you're doing a good job of staying on top of everything. Remember, the way to not drop the ball is to make sure that you're doing every little thing, because dropping too many little things actually becomes habitual, and then that actually adds up. So make sure you're on top of everything and make sure that you're as organized as can be. Like I've told you before, for me, my mission control, where I keep all of my deadlines and such, is my wall calendar. I highly recommend a wall calendar. That's my favorite mission control. So yeah, find yourselves a mission control. When I say mission control, it's just the place where you can keep track of all your deadlines and be intentionally anticipating the closest deadline. So make sure you're organized and have a mission control. So let's get into this. And actually, before starting with the nuts and bolts of what we're going to be doing, I want to start with a punny joke. I love punny jokes. They're so cool. So check this one out. It's a cute one too. Okay. What do you call an owl that does magic tricks? Houdini. I like this one because as a Citrus College family, we are owls. We're all owls. We're all fighting owls. So, woo woo. So I think this joke is intended for us. All right. So let's check out the syllabus. Module 4. Officially, our first month is over. This week's marking that month. So, as you can see here on the docket, what we have due this week. Number 1 is the MLA practice worksheet, which was the homework that I assigned last week based on our intertextuality lecture, because then within that I was covering how to actually create your own works cited page. So hope that this is going good for you guys. And remember, it's due the 14th. That's coming up. That's due at the end of this module. So at the end of this module, which will be next Sunday. So be mindful of that. This week, guys, we have our very first peer review workshop. Remember how I've been really emphasizing on the fact that writing is a process. We have brainstorming, which we already did for our first essay, the pandemic essay. Next, we're going to have our peer review workshop. So hold on to your hats. Let's go and get it. Couple of logistical things that you have to remember, and this is actually how all of our workshops are going to work. So get used to our organizational structure here. So you're going to be responsible, first of all, for writing a rough draft. Now remember, there's no such thing as a perfect rough draft. Absolutely not. Just vomit out your ideas. Just start writing your essay. That's what a draft is. A draft is not only an outline. It's not only a brainstorm. We already did the brainstorm. We already did the outline. Now I want you to actually move forward and try your hand at actually starting this essay. Just go forth and start writing and vomit out your ideas, no matter how disjointed, no matter how messy, no matter how all over the place the draft is. It's part of the writing process, my friends, and that's one of the cool things that makes writing so fun. It's very much a creative process, and you just get out all your ideas, okay? So I'm asking that you please have at least 2 full pages done in your rough draft. Now, remember, the minimum length requirement for this paper, for the final draft, that's when everything is due, that's going to be 3.5 full pages, but for the rough draft, I'm asking that you please have at least 2 full pages of that done, so that it can be substantial enough for your classmates to look at and offer meaningful feedback on it, okay? So The deadline for your rough draft is going to be by Wednesday, this Wednesday, March 10, by 11:59 p.m. And the way this is going to work is that the Canvas system is going to automatically assign you 3 drafts of your classmates to look at. Now, there's something that you should know. You will not get a draft so you will not get the 3 rough drafts from your classmates to look at unless you submit a draft yourself, okay? So, no submission, no distribution of draft to you. That's how the Canvas system is set. So it'll only give you drafts to look at, the 3 drafts to look at from your classmates, only if you submit a draft yourself. So remember that, okay? Now, it's going to automatically distribute you, it's going to distribute these 3 drafts from your classmates to you exactly 1 minute after this deadline. So it's going to distribute it to you by Thursday, March 11, right at 12 a.m. It's going to send it out. And you're going to have until the end of this week's module, which is Sunday by 11:59 p.m., to leave feedback for all of the drafts that you will receive. So let's actually go into our Canvas page here so that we can get a quicker look, a better look into the peer review workshop space here for this week. All right. So, before I actually get to the space, this peer review workshop space, I want to talk about this one, Irvin discussion questions. Now, as this is English 101, writing in composition, and particularly academic writing, it's a genre that we're focused on for this class. This article by L. Lenny Irvin is a really good primer in understanding the expectations of academic writing. What is academic writing? How to do it? What is expected of you? And so on and so forth. And what's really cool about this article, guys, is that it moves to debunk a lot of myths that you may have presently in your mind, such as you can never use I. How many of you had that hammered into your head throughout high school? I know I did. Yes, guys, you can use I. There's a lot of writing myths, or like another one, like your essay has to be compulsorily only 5 paragraphs. Again, writing is not just a template, my friends. It's much larger than that. So you're gonna love this one. So the assignment for this discussion board obviously is read this article, and then you're going to obviously be an active reader by highlighting and annotating and taking those marginal notes, and that's going to help you to actually do your discussion board assignment, because here's what's being asked of you. What are some of the key ideas / concepts / golden quotes that stand out to you from this text? So yeah, bring those forward. How can you apply these to your own understanding of academic writing? Why is this significant? Feel free to embed an accompanying image, video, or audio that supplements your response to this topic idea. So let's say that you start writing like I was particularly drawn to the part of the article that mentions that writing is so much larger than just the 5-paragraph essay. So I don't know, and obviously you're going to write more, at least a hearty paragraph, right? But let's say that there's like an image that comes to mind. Maybe understanding that writing is more than just the 5-paragraph essay. It's more than just rote templates. It's very liberating. So perhaps you might want to find a picture, I don't know, of a sparrow being freed or something being liberating, or whatever is the case. If you want to add a picture, then absolutely you can do that along with your with the paragraph that you're writing here. So if you want to embed an image, this is the little logo here. This one, embed image. All right. Yeah. So that is that. So you want to just talk about, what are some of the cool ideas or concepts or really takeaways that you're left with after reading this article. And it's going to help a lot for our upcoming work, our upcoming essays. Now, I understand that this current first essay, the pandemic essay, it's a narrative. Okay, I understand you're the primary source. It's not necessarily like research or anything, but this is definitely going to be helpful for the upcoming things. All right, so that is that, guys. Let's continue to the next part of our module. Oh, remember also to reply to at least one classmate's post. Let's see, here it is. Remember, also to reply to at least one classmate's post. I know that for this last week, there was a few of you that forgot to reply to at least one classmate's post. Remember to do so if you want to get full credit, guys, because it is a discussion board after all, right? All right, let's go to the next thing. And here is the peer review workshop. And here's where you're going to be submitting your rough draft. Simply, yeah, it's going to be in here. And okay, so we already talked about have at least 2 pages. The deadline for that is this Wednesday, March 10th, 11:59 p.m. The Canvas system will distribute 3 drafts for you to look at exactly 1 minute after this deadline. So on Thursday, March 11th, right at 12 a.m. Now, I'm going to actually post an announcement that's going to include a video for how to actually access these drafts that Canvas will just automatically distribute to those of you who submitted a draft. So be on the lookout here in announcements, because that video is really helpful for letting you know what it's going to look like from your end as you move forward to gather these drafts that were automatically distributed to you. Remember, it's going to be when? Thursday. So 1 minute after the deadline. Thursday, March 11 by 12, right at 12 a.m. it's going to do it. And you're going to have until Sunday, March 14 by 11:59 p.m. to leave feedback for your classmates. And that's actually part of what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to teach you how to actually work the Canvas toolbar that we have and all that jazz. So the way that the points are going to work is, okay, it's 5 points for actually submitting your draft in on time, which here's the deadline. And then 5 points for leaving feedback for each of the 3 classmates' draft that you'll get. Okay, so 5 points for sending in your draft in on time, and then 5 for the first classmate's draft that you'll get, another 5 for the second classmate's draft that you'll get, another 5 for the third classmate's draft that you'll get. So just submit your draft and leave feedback for all your classmates. So 5, 5, 5, 5. It's very important that you do write these down in your calendar, because I won't give any credit to those who leave feedback for the classmates beyond this deadline. So be very intentional with your attention to deadlines. All right. So once you get your classmates draft on Thursday, here are some questions to consider as you're looking at this assignment. I do recommend also that you have the prompt open, as that'll be helpful as you're looking at these drafts to make sure that your classmate is on the right path, and if there's maybe something that they're not really addressing, or that they can address with more attention, you can let them know. So check out the workshop questions to consider as you're looking at your classmates' drafts. First of all, I want you to highlight your classmates' thesis. In this case, because the question is, how has your life changed as a result of this pandemic? Then the thesis has to answer this question. So your classmates' draft has to be an answer to this question, okay? So that's the next one. Does it explicitly answer the prompt central question, which is, how has your life changed as a result of this pandemic? Take a look at their intro paragraph. Here's the next one. Take a look at their intro paragraph. Does it clearly introduce the topic of the pandemic before answering how it has changed their life? Do they address gains or / losses? Do you have any suggestions for their intro paragraph? So remember when we talked about the thesis, remember that the three components that we had was, number one, identification of the topic. In this case, the topic is our current pandemic, right? So with that being said, to identify it, you want to give some information as to what it is. It doesn't have to be like a huge dissertation. It's really just an introduction of the topic, which is the pandemic. And then number two is the claim. What do they have to say about this topic? In this case, the claim has to be an answer to this question, right? How has your life changed as a result of this pandemic? And then the other one is direction. So you support it. Like you could say something like, my life has drastically changed in the sense that I now have so much more time to be at home and to do things that I always wanted to. And then the direction is like you're supporting reasons. You might say something like, I could say it for me. I could say like, among these things that I've always wanted to do is further studying foreign languages, beginning my training at riding an electric unicycle. By the way, guys, I just got an electric unicycle. I've been training at that. It's only my second day and I have a lot to learn, but I'm looking forward to learning. But yeah, make sure that your classmate answers the question, how the pandemic has how their life has changed as a result of this pandemic, and that they include the main examples of how it is that their life has changed, right? So specific examples. What are the main ones? Yeah, so do they address gains and losses? Do you have any suggestions for their intro paragraph? Do their body paragraphs work to further flesh out their thesis? If you see any tangents, then let your classmate know how they can rein the attention back to where it needs to be. I think reel in. This works okay. How they can rein the attention back to where it needs to be. So the thesis is really important because since it has the claim, what it is that we're ultimately saying in our paper, and it has our main points or our main reasons that support our claim, I like to view that as a skeleton. Literally, like when you guys think of a skeleton, it's really just the outline of a body, right? Like literally the outline of a human body. And the body paragraphs, I like that they're called body paragraphs because I think of like the actual, I think of the tissue and the muscles and the fat that flesh out our skeleton, right? If it wasn't for that tissue and muscles and fat, then we wouldn't have corpulence, right? I would just be a a skull. um, so how this relates to essay writing is because in our body paragraphs, we do the same thing that our tissue and our muscles and our fat does, and that is we flesh it out, right? We add, in this case, further explanations, further examples, maybe more information to further demonstrate our point. So we literally add body to our skeleton, right? To our main points, and absolutely everything that we do throughout our body paragraphs. Because remember, each body paragraph has a topic sentence, right? It's the main point of that paragraph, and every topic sentence has to be in some way, shape, or form related to our thesis, to, in this case, to our response to this question, right? So remember that. And then within the for each paragraph in its topic sentences, then the rest of them are called supporting sentences, which support that topic sentence. And yeah, so everything in the paragraph has to point back to our thesis, which in this case is our response to this question: how has your life changed as a result of this pandemic? That's why now it's your job to help out your classmate. If you see maybe that your classmate is talking about something that you're like, wait, why are you talking about this? How does this relate to your thesis? How does this relate to your writerly project? Then let them know, and perhaps you can offer some suggestions based on what you're seeing throughout their draft. Okay. Here's another one. Does your classmate's draft have proper transitions where needed? If not, then please offer some suggestions. So we talked about the importance of transitions in our, I think it was our second module, right? When we had the grammar lesson. So yeah, watch out for that, because you never just want to fly, say from like San Francisco to Sausalito across the water. No, you have to cross the Golden Gate Bridge, right? So in other words, when you're writing, you don't just jump from topic to topic, and without saying how they're both related. Like, you need to explicitly make that connection, right? What is the point of commonality between this topic and this next one? Okay, so be very explicit, because as readers, we're not mind readers. Okay. So if you see places that are choppy and that need transitions, then let your classmate know and offer some suggestions. Do you see any places where bringing in an outside source would be helpful? If so, then let your classmate know. So maybe like offering some statistics or anything like that to help perhaps further talk about the pandemic, what it is, how it has affected others, and then of course make sure to bring it back to yourself. Maybe like at your job there were X number of people laid off as a result of the pandemic, then you would bring in that statistic, whatever the case may be. If you see some areas in your classmates' draft that could use some information from outside sources, then you can let your classmate know that. If they brought in outside sources, then check their in-text citations. We're excited. How are these looking? So if they do bring in some citations from other sources, then make sure that they're following the correct format for in-text citations, and that they have a works cited page. So remind your classmate about that. Since we have our homework here on the MLA worksheet, which is creating our own works cited pages, and we should all be experts on it now, huh? Lastly, take a look at the rubric on our prompt. How's the draft looking when seen through the lens of the rubric? So check out the rubric and look at your classmates' draft and see how it holds up to it. What areas of the draft are strong? What areas need some work? And anything else? So these are some guiding questions to help you as you look at your classmates' drafts. Now, next we're going to talk about the actual logistics of how to go about leaving feedback for your classmates' draft once you've received it, right? So far, only one of you guys has submitted the rough draft, and so we're going to go ahead and check that out. So, Valeria, you're going to be our guinea pig. First of all, I want to make it clear that I actually have not had a chance to look at Valeria's rough draft. So everything that I will be demonstrating here is only with the sole purpose of actually showing you just what these functions are that are allotted to us by the Canvas toolbar here. So everything that I'm going to mark is in no way, shape, or form directly related to the actual content of Valeria's draft, because like I said, I have not had a chance to look at it. So with that being said, let's proceed. So this is what you guys will see. Let me make myself a little bit smaller. All right, so this is what you guys will see. Here's the toolbar. This first one is really if you want to maximize it, make it a little bit bigger for yourself. This one is to have the cursor on, right? It does nothing. It's just to have your cursor going here with no, it doesn't have any function in terms of editing or proofreading is concerned. This one does. This little bubble here is if you want to write something anywhere. So maybe you read this paragraph and you want to write points X, Y, and Z are a bit unclear here. Perhaps you should consider blah, 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 blah. So that's what this one does. They call it point annotation. So anywhere you want to add this little bubble, you can actually go ahead and write a note there. All right. This one is to actually highlight. So this is a highlighter here. I'm a fan of colors. So here is our selection of colors that we have available. So yeah, let's say we wanted to do orange. Let's say you wanted to highlight this. There we go. Now, after you actually highlight anything, you can also write a comment there. This is such a compelling point or something. All right, next one, guys, is a text box. That's what this T is. A text box is just what it sounds like. So let's see, we put it here. Yes, it's just a text box. Next one, this is if you want to strike out anything. So let's say you find something extraneous. This is extraneous. Perhaps consider blah, blah, blah. So if you want to cross out anything, what's cool about everything that you do here with on this toolbar is that you're always given the opportunity to follow it up with a corresponding comment. This one is a little marker. So you click that. You can click control how wide you want the line here. Again, here's all your colors that you have. It's quite varied, I would say. Let's say you want to use green. Green's my favorite color. What's your guys' favorite color? Let me know in the chat. So let's say, I don't know, maybe you wanted to draw like an arrow or something. This is mostly important, I don't know. Or maybe you wanted to circle something. Oh, Yes, okay. This one is literally the just if you want to box something. So maybe you want to box this part, and then you want to write a comment. Consider blah 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 blah. So that's what that does. Now, after you have read your classmates' draft and left your marginal comments here, there's another thing that you have to do if you want to give credit, if you want to get credit. So in a peer review workshop, when we are in the classroom, what we do after annotating and writing all over our classmates' draft, we don't just say, "Here, Valeria, it was good," and then just walk away. No, we actually say, "Here, Valeria," and then we sit down and we go over the things that we wrote down. We look at the person and we have a conversation based on the things that we saw, right? So in order to do that in our online space, that's here. You can either type out your notes for the person. You can be like, "Hey Valeria, I just finished looking at your draft, blah 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 blah," and then you can type it out, or you can do my favorite thing, and that is media. So you can leave here either an audio comment or a video comment. So in order to do that, you go to this little play button. Oh, let's see, remind me in an hour. I got a little reminder there. Okay. So if you want to leave a media comment, which is my favorite, you go to this little play icon that it looks a lot like the YouTube one, huh? So you click it there. And after you do that, you just go to start recording. You'd be like, "Hey Valeria, so I was actually assigned your draft and I just finished it." Oh, here's another thing too, guys. If you are leaving some video feedback, then I actually recommend, obviously, that you have open the actual draft itself with your notes, so that as you're leaving this video message, you have this here right next to you, right? So you're actually looking at something, so you can remember like what it is that you wrote down on your notes, right? So this is truly my favorite way to leave a message here. Now, if you don't want to leave a video message, if you wish to only leave an audio message, then you go here to this webcam box and you turn off your camera and you just go to no video and you go to start recording, and thus just leave an audio feedback. So whatever it is that you choose to do, whether typing out your comment for your classmate here, or a video message or an audio message, it's all good. As long as you do leave them a message alongside your annotations here. And that, my friends, is how you get your 5 points per each draft that you're assigned. And that's how we will be doing our peer review workshop this semester, our peer review workshops this semester, including for our other papers. I just want to make sure and see if there isn't anything else that I am missing for this week's draft. Let's go ahead and leave this site. Don't worry, Valeria. I'll make sure to erase my markings on your draft. And thanks for being our guinea pig. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Let's go to next. After that, we just have the assignment link for the MLA practice worksheet, which is going to be due at the end of this module. So next Sunday by March 14. And I think that's it. Yep. That's it for this module, guys. So go forth, have an awesome first peer review workshop, and remember to help out your classmates out as much as possible, as they'll also be helping you. And also, don't forget to check out the video that I'm going to send you in our announcements for help on how to actually access the drafts once Canvas has automatically sent them to you on Thursday by 12 a.m., right? All right, guys, I wish you an awesome week. See ya.